it is now my pleasure to give the floor to Dimitris Avramopoulos, who is Minister of Defence in Greece, the country, of course, currently in the EU presidency hot seat.
Let me start by expressing my warmest thanks for this invitation to share with you this very important annual conference of the European Defence Agency. And of course, I couldn't agree more with the topic. Indeed, European defence matters. It matters for the political stability and the security of our continent. It matters for the security of our citizens. It matters for the jobs, the cutting-edge technologies and the growth of European Union member states. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, allow me to share with you some thoughts on the importance of European defence cooperation. For decades, Europe pursued the path of integration through function. It is about time to have a look around us, to see the geopolitical landscape of our times, and to strive for the only realistic choice in front of us. That choice calls for political vision and political will. If we do not manage to provide a common European answer to the critical security questions, then we will soon realize that our shared economic interests will be undermined as well. But let's indeed have a closer look to the geopolitical realities that shape our times, our region, our world. First and foremost, Europe as a continent, as a union, as a common market, needs to return to sustainable growth. Europe cannot afford anymore the continuation of an economic stalemate that threatens our societies, that threatens our democracies. In order to return to growth, we need security in our borders, security in our societies. Now, if we take a look at the neighboring regional reality, we will clearly see an arc of instability stretching from the Ukraine to the northern shores of Africa. An arc of instability that undermines trade and exports, threatens critical energy routes, scares tourist markets, and can fuel even further the wave of illegal immigration targeting our continent. The arc of instability, could become a real threat to Europe. We have to stop immediately this wave, the rising of nationalism and populism. I'm afraid that, of course, we must do our best not to have a new European Parliament with anti-European attitudes. Altogether, Europe and transatlantic community with complementary initiatives and actions, but most of all, with a spirit of solidarity and decisiveness. The second crucial geopolitical development that calls for the deepening of our defense and security cooperation is the fact that we live in a world that has new protagonists with new global perspectives. The United States are looking for a strategic disengagement from the overstretching of commitments and defense spendings. Resurgent Russia seems to have a clear strategic positioning about the future of Eurasia. China is fast developing its security and defense capability, claiming in this way a leading role in the developments shaping the Asia-Pacific rim. The third defining factor of contemporary geopolitics is the relentless competition for energy resources, a competition that to a large extent shapes the system of international relations in our time. global security cannot be served if there is a void of security and defense policy in Europe. The growth of our economies will stumble if we do not respond together in the crisis enveloping in our immediate neighborhood. The sovereignty of our nation states will suffer if we do not empower the sovereignty of Europe as a force to be reckoned with. Europe needs, for internal as well as for external reasons, to develop a clear geopolitical perspective for its position in our contemporary world. A geopolitical perspective that will be supported by a truly common foreign, defense, and security policy. We must realize that in our world, European cooperation in the field of defense and security, it is not just just another European project. It has become one of the most critical pillars for European democracy, integration, cohesion, and growth. Ladies and gentlemen, in times of crisis, European Union should enhance its role as a provider of political stability, prosperity and security, not limited in a regional, but in a wider global scale. Security and defense policy is a safe path to tackle the security challenges and dilemmas we face by doing more together and doing it better, by learning to stand as one. My strong belief is that the European Union should reinforce its institutional awareness and preparedness in both political and operational terms. Never forget that when the means are limited, political will is crucial. The European Council of December 2013 confirmed the renewed interest of Europe in promoting defense and security cooperation. It would indeed be essential to make the European Council of December 2013 a point of departure rather than a point of arrival for the establishment of a comprehensive political framework dealing with European military and defense-related matters. The European Council is not the end of the defense journey, but the beginning of a new European defense future. And the European Defense Agency's bright future remains on the hands of the participating member states. Despite the concerns about the possible loss of national sovereignty that managing and developing military capabilities together may entail, I fully agree that Europeans are already losing sovereignty by not consolidating, not optimizing, not innovating, not regionalizing, and not integrating their military capabilities. Without these joint developments, they risk losing their strategic autonomy. Both action and determination are required in order to create the appropriate enabling mechanisms to combat this eventuality. Greece has always put emphasis on the historic necessity and the political importance of the European cooperation in the field of defense as a key political priority for the future of Europe and its perspectives. It is not a matter of coincidence that the last time that Europe focused on defense issues was 10 years ago, when again Greece held the presidency of the European Council. It was the time that gave birth to the European Defence Agency, as Mrs. Arnoux said before. Despite the current financial constraints, it is of my profound belief that we are standing in front of a great opportunity, stemming from our solid intention to work closely in order to develop a healthy and competitive defense industry sector. It is time to perceive the emerging changes and overcome any identified institutional or entrepreneurial malaise, to schedule our further actions and to launch a new strategic era between policy and defense industry support. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot we can do together to avoid duplication of capabilities, to overcome the current fragmentation of the European defense market, to achieve greater cost-effectiveness and ultimately to enable Europe to maintain a competitive defense industrial and technological base. It is also very important to continue work on the cooperative capability projects agreed in December, where the European Defence Agency plays undoubtedly a key role. The EDA projects, activities and mechanisms in the research and development area offer an excellent opportunity for the European defence industry. The European Defence Agency has been playing a very important role in the improvement of European capabilities for the common security and defence policy. The Lisbon Treaty has reinforced the agency's central role in this mission. It is my belief that the challenges of this conference are significant, and I am confident that we can achieve our objectives if we advance towards the creation of an integrated European defence system, which is today more important than ever. The quest for European defence is today more topical than ever. The main question is whether Europe, as an entity, relinquishes its right to defence or not. If really not, we should examine this issue all along and on a new basis. We should examine this with the experience gained in recent years. An experience of economic crisis, of incapacity to clearly express a common, coherent and comprehensive political stance. An efficient European integration requires the main components of a state: economy and defence. Hence, we should move forward to economic integration and to common political governance. Common economic and political governance are preconditions for a competent common European defence policy. We should never forget that the process of European integration started from the defence sector. The first European organisation established in the aftermath of the Second World War was purely defensive, the Western European Union. However, as you said, it failed. It failed because it lacked political will and economic foundations. That is why it had not fulfilled its purposes. Today, we have both. I could even say all three constituent parts: politics, economics, defense. Let's move together towards the transformation of the European Defence Agency to a European defence organisation, being of equal standing with all the other institutions of the European Union. It is the moment to do it. This is the only way to establish a real political Europe, a real European political governance. It is my belief that such initiatives contribute to further developing the cooperation among our countries in the area of defence strategy and defence industry to the benefit of regional stability and world peace. À cet égard, j'aimerais féliciter Madame Claude France Arnoux, qui dirige l'Agence européenne de défense avec compétence et autorité, mais aussi ses collaboratrices et collaborateurs, et de les rassurer que la Grèce, en tant qu'État membre, sera toujours à ses côtés afin de parvenir ce que nous ici souhaitons. Une Europe de défense unie, forte, acteur politique dans le processus de la prévention contre toute menace à la paix et à la sécurité européenne et internationale, bien sûr. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you productive discussions and successful results in this conference. Thank you.